Today we will be looking at how to create a timeline to use to help with your online media coverage. Ideally, timelines are used in addition to stories and don't just stand alone. The timeline is such a useful multimedia tool because it helps organize information for the reader in a clean, visual way that is easy to understand. Another added benefit is you can easily link photos, audio, and video to your timeline as well. You can also link different stories or relevant information that you've included on your website already. Something to keep in mind when you are considering using a timeline is that there really aren't any limitations on how much time you can cover. Your timeline could outline a single day, or it could outline several decades or even centuries. Something to keep in mind, however, is that for the timeline to be an effective tool, time itself must be of importance to telling of the story. Stories about how things have evolved over time, or stories where time is of the essence, will make the most successful timelines. So I'm going to walk you through how to create a timeline using NightLab. So when you go to the website, you'll get this screen. You scroll down, you can see some examples. They have one here, Women in Computing. So we're going to look at how to actually make that. So it has instructions here that say make a timeline. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And it takes you through a step-by-step process. It's really important to sit and actually read through what it wants you to do. What you'll do first is you'll get the spreadsheet template. So this is a template that you'll use to make your timeline and record your information. It's going to ask you if you want to make a copy of it. And it'll take you to something that looks like this. So right now, this information is just filler. It's on there so that you have an idea of what you want to put in. This first column is going to be the date that it started, the event that started. And then this column will have the event or the date that it ended. It's not necessary to fill out the date that it ended unless it's important to you. But you can leave this area blank if you want. Next, you'll have your headline for each one of these events. Make sure you're using a subject-verb headline there. And then you'll have your text here. This is the text that'll show up on your timeline to explain what's actually going on. And then where it says media, you have an option to include video, audio, photos, photo galleries, things like that. So you'll put your media here. And then don't forget to give credit to your media. So who created that will go here. And then you can also include captions for your photos and things like that here. The rest of it you can pretty much leave blank. You don't need it. And then the first thing you want to do when you're ready to put information on your timeline is just go ahead and get rid of this extra stuff that's here, just as an example. So you'll just delete it, and then you'll start filling in the information as you gather it. What I would recommend is gather all the photos, videos, audio, all of that in a folder first so that you can plug it in all at once. It'll make things a little bit easier. So what I've done over here is I've gathered all of the videos and things I want to use. So for an example, I'm going to use construction going on at the high school. So what I've done is I've gathered all the photos I want to use for my project. I've found some videos that work too. And you can also link directly to YouTube, which is pretty easy. But I have all of those here. And what I did, which I thought was a little more simpler, because you have to include the media as a link. I just uploaded this folder onto my Google Drive, and then when you double click on your photos and you come to share, you can get that link really easily. So you can copy that link and paste it where it says media. So I've done all of that already. Let me show you an example of what it looks like when you fill out all of your information. So I'm doing the construction that started at our high school in 2016. So I included the dates that it began. And my first slide, I went ahead and I made it kind of like an introduction slide, so it explains what's going on. So my headline for that first slide is Ladue High School fully renovates. And then here's my text explaining what that means. I have a video here that explains that. I give credit here. So you'll just basically plug and chug all that information as you get it. Once you have this whole thing filled out, you're going to go back to your instructions over here to step 2. And once you have everything filled out, it says under the File menu, select Publish to the Web. So I'm going to go back to my timeline. I'm going to go to File, Publish to the Web. And I will say Published. This one's already been published, but when you're first starting, you'll just click Publish. Then what it wants you to do is scroll down, and you're going to copy the URL for your timeline. just like this right here, and you're going to paste it right here. And it gives you some options. You can kind of control the width and the height. You can change the language if you want, yada yada. And then once you're ready, you're going to come over here and you can share your link. You can check it by doing this. When you embed it onto your website, you're actually going to use this code. This is what you'll be pasting onto laduli.com in your story. But if you just want to check it out and see how it looks, you'll paste it. And you can kind of double check and make sure you did everything correctly. So here's my home slide. Ladue High School fully renovates. I've got a picture here. Here's my credit. And then you can see the timeline down here at the bottom. The dates will also show up here. I can click on my next one. It's a video, prop our passes. I can click and it's going to take me to that YouTube video of what the high school is going to look like. And down here I did a little caption, a virtual tour of what the new plans are for the high school. Captions are really helpful. I would definitely recommend using them for photos and videos, so make sure you're doing that. So this is just a good example of what yours could look like. You'll notice that if you don't include photos or videos on your slides, they look really boring. So let me show you what that looks like really quick. So let's say I don't include this photo here. I come back, I refresh. I'm going to click a little bit until I get to that slide. See, it looks pretty basic when you don't include photo or video or audio or something. So definitely try and have a photo or a video on everything, on every single slide would be ideal. Some slides I understand like it won't make sense if you have a photo or video, but try your best. Yeah, and then once you're done and everything looks the way that you want it to look, what you'll do is you will copy this link and you will embed it onto laduli.com, and that is pretty much it.